Good afternoon, everybody, and you're all very welcome to day 3 of CITA's Regional Week. My name is Suzanne Purcell, and I am General Manager of CITA. For those of you who've just joined us, if you wouldn't mind just turning your microphones and your videos off, and then the presenters will turn on theirs when they're just about to speak. So we'd like to thank all of our sponsors who assist us and support us through all of our events. And for the regional event series, we have Diatech, Digital Construction Technologies, Evercam, I3PT, and SIS. So Regional Week is virtual for the first time ever, and it's 5 days, 5 lunchtime talks, and this is day 3. So if anybody is interested in getting involved in these talks or any future talks, please do get in touch with the CITA team. It's admin@cita.ie. And for those of you who aren't familiar with CITA, CITA has been in existence for 20 years now, and membership of CITA is open to everybody. CITA spends majority of its core work is on delivering high quality events and training activities. We run monthly breakfast events, an annual conference, and a SkillNet training network. And we're delighted to announce that we've secured funding from SkillNet Ireland for 2021. And we are looking at running the same number and style of events in 2021. So the Digital Transformation Series, the Tech Trend Series, the regional events, and the BIM Gathering Conference, which will be returning in September, hopefully face-to-face, but we'll have to just wait and see. And for any of you who aren't already subscribed to the CITA YouTube channel and wanting to get notified for new videos, subscribe by searching for Construction IT Alliance. So I'm going to just hand you over now to Finola Deavy, who is from Athlone IT, and Finola is going to take you through and share the session. So I hope you really enjoy it, and thanks again for attending.
Thanks, Suzanne, and welcome everybody. Finola Deavy is my name. I'm an architect and lecturer here in Athlone IT. I have been the CITA, or AIT representative in CITA for the last 6 years. Today's event, as Suzanne said, is the 3rd event from our CITA regional event, and it's been such a success going virtually that we do hope to continue it. I would like to thank Suzanne and Elena for all the hard work that they've done so far. I hope you can all see my screen. And here's the list of speakers that are going to talk with us today. We have Dan Deery, Alice Kavanagh, and Bríd Mullane. I'll give a quick introduction to each of our speakers later on. And here you can see our campus building, AIT, with our 50 years for those who aren't used to it. And we have a new STEM and research building coming on board just in time for celebrating our 50th anniversary here in AIT. We also have in our engineering building and the Faculty of Engineering state-of-the-art facilities. We have a robotics lab, dedicated AR and VR labs. We have 3D printing and polymer materials research labs. And we have digital construction and animation at the core of what we do here in our modern facilities. Those of you may be aware that we are in the process of lodging an application to become a technical university. So AIT may no longer exist come September 2021. And it's our aim to develop a contemporary and vibrant campus. And in total, we'll have 6 campuses, 250 global partners, with a combined student number of over 15,000. Here in AIT, I have a quick note on the programs that are available to us. Sorry, can you see my screen there okay? And we have a series of level 7 and level 8 programs. We are excited to announce a new CAO offering in September 2021, which is the BSc in Digital Construction Management. It'll have a heavy focus on data visualization and BIM management. And we also have, due to popular demand, continuing our level 8 in construction management also. Our quantity surveying course is a 4-year level 8 with BIM and M&E costing at its core. It includes a 6-month work placement, which has been in high demand from both employers, our industrial partners. And this year, our final year students have the opportunity to gain a digital badge from the British Research Establishment in BIM Management. And we're also in the process of seeking professional accreditation through the Society of Chartered Surveyors of Ireland for our current cohort of students and those who graduated last year. We have two pathways to our civil engineering, where again, BIM is filtered up through all of the years. And in the final year, we have a collaboration project, which allows the students from 3 courses to collaborate in a real world environment with BIM. And are excited to announce and take this opportunity to present you with a new area of learning that AIT is involved with. In October, the HEA awarded under Pillar 3 a consortium consisting of Limerick IT, Athlone IT, and the Tipperary Energy Agency, and the Irish Green Building Council. We were awarded funding of nearly 7.5 million over a 5-year period to develop a digital academy for the sustainable built environment. We had our first meeting only yesterday, so this is the first time that we have been allowed to publicly announce this exciting venture for all of these institutions over the next few years. The aim of DASB will be to bring together construction, SMEs, manufacturers, and the workers to upskill in AR, VR training, and we have some speakers on this here today. We'll be focusing on the idea of green construction, retrofitting and conservation, the circular economy, and NZEB. It's a 5-year strategy and funding, which sets it apart from our springboard. The aim is that by 2023, we'll have developed over 20 online and blended learning programs in the fields that I just mentioned. And we hope to expand that out to over 40 programs with over 2,000 learners coming through the DASB doors by 2025. We'll be expanding the DASB consortium to include 5 major enterprises and 5 IoTs by 2024, and thus increasing the sustainability of the initiative and our expansion out into the wider community and regions. We'll be using the idea of a virtual lab to allow our students access to live data to see the world of BIM and digital construction on their doorstep. We'll be using the campuses of the 3 IoTs currently mentioned and our industrial partners to develop those living labs. As BIM is all about collaboration, we're excited that DASB is all about collaboration. The technical university that will hopefully exist in September will bring together collaboration and knowledge exchange. It'll be a digital platform for micro-credentials right up to level 9. We'll have research and development. We'll have knowledge sharing and exchange amongst the partners. And we're in the good hands of Mr. Seamus Hoyne, who is the LIT Development and Public Engagement Manager, and who was recently awarded the Outstanding Contribution to Sustainable Energy at the recent SEAI 2020 Awards. Seamus will be spearheading the initiative, and it will be fed and disseminated over the next few months. So it's an exciting focus for us. But first, I'd like to welcome our speaker, Dan Deary. Dan, if you're there, you might get your slides.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you, Dan.
I'll just share my screen here, make sure everyone can see it.
Dan is our BIM and 3D specialist. He has over 30 years experience in the AEC and industry and over 20 years in BIM management. He's worked on BIM projects throughout the world, including Ireland, the UK, Norway, France. His services are, as I said, BIM management, BIM coordination and implementation. He also provides BIM support and training, including animation, visualization, and interactive animation. He's also an authorized Autodesk trainer and delivers training direct to companies all across Ireland and the UK. His current resellers and who works with are Diatec, Paradigm, Benchmark, And some of the courses he delivers specific to BIM include all disciplines of Revit, Navisworks, 3D Studio Max, AutoCAD, and as I think you'll see here today, an introduction to Unity Pro and Unity Reflect. He's actively working with clients, helping them implement BIM and advising on digital technologies with the AAC industry. So we're delighted to have Dan present to us today, and we look forward to him speaking. Dan?
Thanks, Finola. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. Can everybody hear me okay, yeah? I see my screen. So today what we want to talk about is VR and AR. So talk about virtual reality and augmented reality in the construction industry. For a long time, this is seen just as a gimmick, as a thing for gaming, but has real uses within the industry itself. Now, if we look at VR first, move on here. So if we look at VR first, what we're looking at here now is VR is a simulated experience with which the user interacts with a 3D model. And basically what we mean by that is where you can get into the 3D model and walk around it. I don't know if everybody has seen the kind of glass. What you do is you put on a pair of glasses. I don't know if you can see the glasses here now. I have a pair of glasses here. It's hard to show on the small screen there. And basically what these are is, these are a pair of specialized glasses that basically have two screens on the inside. So when you put these on, it tricks your eye into thinking that you're actually inside the model, and it gives a real sense of space and to move around. There are basically two types of VR. There's what we call static VR, and there's immersive VR. Now, if we look at, some of you may have heard of the Google Glasses. Let's go back here for a second, and you see here the Google Glasses. So it's basically a cardboard object which you place your phone in the back of it. Now, what this is we call this panoramic VR or static VR. You'll also see over here, you may have seen the Samsung Gear, the Gear VR. Basically, much the same. You fold down the front here, and you put your glasses in. You put your phone inside. It's good, but the problem is it's not immersive, and you can't move through the space. You can't interact with objects in the space, but it is a lower cost. And that's one thing people often talk about VR, is that it's very costly, but the costs are coming down and down now a lot than what they were. So this is always a cheaper way of getting into VR itself. When we talk about immersive VR, we're talking about what was shown there as the glasses. And what you can do now is you can walk through the scene, and it gives you a real sense of space in the scene. You actually feel like you're inside your model. So you're taking your model from the likes of Revit, and you're bringing it into VR. And when you put the glasses on, you walk around. You can set up so you can click on items. You can walk through doors. And it gives you a real sense. But this one here requires a full headset. So, for example, at the moment, the most popular sort of VR headsets at the moment, the big one really here is the HTC Vive, which a lot of people are using. The one I showed you there has a cable, and the way it works is that on your screen you have a tracker, and the tracker moves the headset. So when you're moving around, it's as if you're moving around the model. So if I turn around 360 degrees, I can actually see 360 degrees in the model. That's a big difference to what we're used to, which is a lot of time we have, up to now, it's been animations and visualizations. But that means you're only seeing your model from the point of view of the person that creates the visualization. So you're not seeing the full model. So, there's a lot of cheating you can do there. One thing you can't do with immersive VR is you can't hide anything. Everything is visible. So, because the client or whoever is using it can walk around the screen. It's a really, really good experience. But to be honest, some people don't like it, because what often happens is some people do get the feeling of sort of travel sickness when they're using it. So it's not for everybody. So that is one of the downsides of it. Of course, the other downside is, as a designer, you can't hide anything. Everything is visible. So why should we use VR in construction? Well, there's a number of reasons. And so it gives a much improved client experience, giving a better understanding of the project. So the client can walk around. So for the likes of tendering, they get a much better feel for what you're trying to portray and what you're trying to do. And so it can be a big selling point for your company and for your design. It can enhance decision making because you can get in, you can look around, and you can get closer to objects, and it gives you a more feel of the actual design itself. So it can help improve decision making. And of course, it can improve collaboration, especially now with COVID-19. You know, with everybody working remotely, this is a great tool to be able to remotely, where you can all put on your glasses and be able to go into the model and discuss inside the model and see what's going on. Walk around, you know, have a look at the services or whatever you want to do. And so it's a great way for improving collaboration. So it's a lot better, like, for example, at site meetings now, people maybe were used to going onto site and you have a Navisworks model, because this is much more immersive, so much better for collaboration. And again, it can enhance your clash detection because you walk around and look for clashes, rather than depending on the likes of the clash detective inside of Navisworks. You can actually walk around and look for clashes. One of the problems with clashes, often the soft clashes, you can get in and see and look around the item to see, is there enough space around there? And of course, it can be used for safety training. So you can set up safety training before anybody goes onto site. So they can walk around the model and they can see any issues before entering any site. So VR then is much more immersive. So when we're talking about AR, which is augmented reality, this is where we're mixing the digital model with your live outside with live video or even outside walking around. Where this really comes into its own is, and I think this is probably the bigger thing than VR. Everybody's talking about VR, but I think AR is going to be bigger. And the first time when I look at technology in this industry, I always think, is it there looking for a problem or is it there to answer a problem? And the first time I came across AR, I thought it was a technology that was looking for a problem. I couldn't really see a use for it until one day I was working on a roads job and I was doing some photo montages for some objections that were done. And the engineer said to me, wouldn't it be great if we could walk around and see the bridge actually there in place? And that's when it clicked with me. That's where AR comes in. Because AR allows us to go out. For example, if you've got a building, what you can do is you go out with your tablet, hold your tablet up, and you can see the building in the actual field, in its actual environment. So up to now, we're used to using photo montages. So these are sort of live photo montages. You might see here in the images here, where you can see, for example, here, where the user is holding up their tablet and they can see the proposed items in space in their environment. There's two ways to do augmented reality. It's what we call image-based tracking. And what we do is, in the model, say for example in your Revit model, you put a marker in to say that's where our marker is going to be. You then go out on the site, you have a marker on site, you hold your laptop or your tablet or your phone, whatever it is, and you against the marker, and the marker then allows you to position the model in actual real space. So then when you hold up your tablet, like in the view there, you can see your model in its environment. The other was GPS-based tracking, which is kind of used more at the moment for like the tourism and that, where it's using the GPS of the phone or of the tablet. So where are the benefits of AR in construction? Well, the benefits of AR, of course, in planning. So now you can go out and with your client or the planners, rather than rather than just doing a photo montage, you can hold up your tablet, you can see your building in its actual environment. You can walk around the field and see the different sides of the building. Again, it's great for, again, design review, being able to review your model in its space. Also, again, in COVID-19, it's a great tool to be able to use for meetings. You can overlay the model over existing site conditions, or what you can do is you can hold your model up against the existing build. So as an as-built check, it can be used to hold up again against the final build to see if everything matches. Because that's always the problem at the moment, is making sure that what's being built actually matches what's in the model. So what are software options for how do you use AR and VR with BIM? So there are a number of software options. Below are some software options to move. The first one is, okay, we've Unity 3D. I'll talk a little bit more about this later in a few minutes. So Unity is a game engine. They've just kind of really gone into the construction industry, the AEC industry, with what they call a new product called a Unity Reflect. This will give you, Unity will give you VR, will allow you to take your model into VR and AR. Unreal Engine then is another game engine. Again, you can bring your model into VR and AR using the likes of the Unreal Engine. 3ds Max Interactive. Anybody who uses 3D Studio Max may be aware of this. This is a kind of a game engine that Autodesk developed a number of years ago. They integrated it into 3D Studio Max, and again, 3ds Max Interactive can be used to go to either VR and AR. They've sort of discontinued the whole end of game engines Autodesk have, and because they teamed up now at Unity, because Unity are worldwide the biggest game engine in the world. You've other ones like Iris VR, which will go straight, again, will give you just VR only. It doesn't give you any AR. And then Enscape for Revit, which is another good tool, again, which will give you VR only. It is only a small selection of the tools that you can use to get your model, your BIM model into VR and AR. There's a lot more out there. So how do we get our models into AR, into VR? Well, my preferred workflow, and I've kind of tied around with a few of them at the moment, my preferred workflow, if we take Revit, for example, is to go to Revit, to Unity Reflect, and then into Unity. Last year, Unity, the 3D game engine, brought out this tool called Unity Reflect. And the reason I like it is because it's a great way of, it brings the model in. Now, before Unity Reflect, what you often had to do was to get your model and your materials and your lighting and everything into Unity or into Unreal Engine. You had to go through the likes of 3D Studio Max. So there's a whole nother area of skills you had to have to get it into Unity. Because when you went direct through FBX from Revit straight into the likes of Unity or one of these game engines, you tended to lose a lot of materials would get messed up. And also they would not take in the metadata. So all the parameters belong to your model itself. So all that was gone. What Unity have done with Unity Reflect is you can now go straight at Unity Reflect, and Unity Reflect brings through all your parameters, which gives you huge scope of what you can do in there. For example, you can put in your phasing there. You can turn items on and off within your model. And you can learn more about this if you listen to Dave Purton's cast on Unity Reflect. But it also brings in all the materials, all your lighting. So all the messing you had beforehand, having to go through 3D Studio Max, is now gone. So you don't need that set of skills. From inside of Revit, you can go directly. Once you install Reflect, it installs a button which you can go directly into Reflect. And of course, once you get into Reflect, you can bring it into Unity Game Engine, which gives you the power of the Unity Game Engine, which means that you can, animate your doors to open, have your cranes moving, whatever you want to do, you can do inside of Unity. And then, of course, you can create your own viewer, and your viewer can have your own logos on it. And so when you give it to a client, they don't need any additional software. They don't need to download any additional software. You send them the exe file of your model, and they can walk around and do whatever they need to do. Because not everybody uses Revit, there's a lot of non-Revit software users out there, like ArchiCAD, Tekla, OpenBIM, from Bentley, and all these other sources. So recently, what Unity have done is, they've brought in a link from Navisworks into Unity Reflect. So now any non-Revit software, as I was talking about, ArchiCAD, any of them, or your actual coordination model, you can actually bring through Navisworks, and then from Navisworks into Unity Reflect, do what you need to do in Unity Reflect, and go on into Unity if you wish. And again, if you get any parameters, will be brought in through into Unity Reflect as metadata. So that's why it's my preferred platform at the moment, because I get the metadata as well. But I was saying, there are other ways to get through into VR and AR. I know this is a very, very short talk on something I could spend all day talking about, but I hope it's giving you a bit of a flavour of VR and AR. It's not just, as people think, a gimmick. It has real potential within this industry, and I think it's going to move forward very quickly in the next few years, especially now that most projects now have BIM models, and it's taking your BIM now to the next level. So we're slowly stepping through. So I think I've managed to do that on time. So any questions, or anybody has any questions on that? Again, if anybody has any questions offline, feel free to contact me. My email address is there. I'm happy to talk about it.
Great, Dan. Thank you very much. It's certainly an area I've been looking at for the last few years, and I'm giving a talk on it on Friday from my architectural hat on to a group of illustrators and animators, actually. And as you said, Unity came from a gaming engine, and it's something we've a lot of experience with here in Athlone IT. And we're going to certainly focus on this multidisciplinary nature of integrating software, gaming, construction. We're all in the same corridor here in our fabulous facilities in engineering. And it's certainly the future. And I'm glad that you pointed out that it's not just a gimmick either, because that's what people think, and it's far from it. Unity
they hear the word gaming, Finola. That's the thing. They tend to hear the word gaming, and that's what people think. But when you look at AR and look at the power of AR, like, ask people to go online, have a look at AR, that is going to be the big one, more so the VR, I think, especially for architects. Yeah,
and as I say, we've illustrators and animators here, so we're pulling them in from the whole movie side of things, which blends in with construction, and it's an area we'll be focusing on in our new digital construction, and as you saw there in the DASB initiative as well. Yeah, and I believe that Unity are going to potentially overtake Autodesk in software provision because of items like Unity Reflect. They're certainly moving up the charts, let's just put it that way. So thank you very much, Dan.
Just to finish on that, the reason Autodesk dumped their gaming engine and became 3ds Max Interactive is because they knew they couldn't compete with Unity. They went and they bought a gaming engine and they dumped it after about a year. Yeah. And now they're working in collaboration with Unity itself. And that's where you Reflect.
It's brilliant, because I had those problems with 3D Studio Max, as you mentioned, and the ease of use of Unity Reflect. And we have Enscape here in the college for our students. And it's certainly an active area we'll be looking for. And it's been demanded out on site as well.
Yeah, it's getting there now.
Absolutely. So thank you very much, Dan. Alice, if you're there, I might ask you to share your screen, if you wouldn't mind. Dan, I think you just stopped. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm sort of new here.
Thank you.
Myself here.
Alice, you're very welcome. Alice Kavanagh, she's, I'll just stop my own video, a quality control lead with BAM Ireland. And she's international experience from Australia all the way up in project controls and quality management. Her large-scale projects in Australia and here with various construction contracting companies in Ireland. She's skilled in full project life cycle, quality management, the BCAR management, and lean handover. And I believe that that's going to be the focus of her talk today, and couldn't come at a more opportune time from when BCAR is so important now and the legislation behind it. So Alice, I'll let you take over, and you're very welcome.
Thanks very much. So today I'll be chatting to you about managing BCAR and compliance on site on I3PT certified projects, enabling us to deliver customer value. At BAM, we employ the right strategies for managing, assuring, controlling and improving quality. Higher quality in construction improves project efficiency, meaning that the better your processes and workflows are, the easier that is for your job to move forward on schedule without rework requirements. Standardization in all processes, lessons learned from previous projects, including stage reviews and various points throughout the project, continually improve our standards. Performing due diligence against clearly defined standards and specification on each project, we continually improve how we manage quality. High quality construction projects improve safety and produce safer finished products as a result of delivering to client specification, giving the client what they ask for. The following presentation will start off with an outline of our quality management process to achieve BCAR and compliance on site, followed by working on I3PT certified projects, the pre-commencement documentation requirements, using the Cert Central CDE and their field software, finishing up with construction and completion BCAR documentation, completing the project lifecycle for BCAR. So the key components for BCAR for the process are managing, collaborating and coordinating BCAR with subcontractors, design team and also I3PT. This starts off at technical submittal and RFI management stages. We're here where we're checking that everything is to specification, the requirements, standards and design intent, with also clarification of the understanding and the feedback from designers communicated right back down the line. Benchmarking, focusing on the workmanship and process with the right approved materials, continuous feedback during installation from the design team, minimizing future recurring defects in the field. Defect management and snagging, which is carried out throughout the process, performing due diligence against clearly defined standards, requirements and specification. High quality construction projects produce safer finished products as a result. It reduces risk and improves the construction quality. In the inspection and test plan, we aim to progressively inspect and test the works from the on-site, and this is done by both the design team and the construction team on site, along with our designers. And we strive to progressively compile our BCAR critical documentation through the management of that. And we do all this with quality reporting, workshops on site, and also meetings with various stakeholders of the project. We like to implement lessons learned from previous projects and stage reviews throughout the project. We do this all with standardization in all our processes. So just an overview here of the quality BCAR and compliance process from design to construction to completion, just to give you an outline before we start on how that works on site. So as I said, we start off with technical submittal and aesthetic samples on site for the design team. They're prepared by us and the contractor and specialist suppliers. and we upload these onto BIM 360 or for project CDE. The review process is intrinsic to this part by the design team, which they're going to be looking is in line with specification. They'll be looking at the unique characteristics of the building, geographical location, and they'll also be looking at things like fire and access. This, once approved as status A, goes on to our Cert Central CDE for approval also by the design team and a record for the project. At pre-commencement, we also would collect specialist design certs from any contractors or suppliers that have design responsibility. We also collect our pre-commencement design certs from our design team. Next up then was defining the benchmarks and the whole points for inspection by ancillary certifiers. This is outlined by the design team, the I3P inspectors and specialist designers. So what is a benchmark? A first in kind of the construction activity on site. We spend time reviewing this process with the contractor, and we map it to the timeline set out to the program process. We're checking that there's approved materials and method, and we ask the design team to come view this benchmark. They give us feedback, and then we implement that feedback. Benchmark reviews on site, as I said, are by the design team, and all installations are also supervised by our senior engineers on site. Inspections post-benchmark, post-approved benchmark, is we're saying, is this installed as per the approved benchmark, and any non-conformances raised and issues closed out with photo evidence of remedial action and design team approval. This is also uploaded onto Cert Central for design team approval, and also all our inspections are uploaded in line with our inspection and test plan. For compliance then at completion stage, the design team and the contractors, design team first of all will be uploading their SI certs, their EI certs for inspections and for the completion of the inspection plan, and the SC cert, EC cert and ACE cert in relation to completion. So what are I3PT certified projects? So I3PT stands for Independent Third Party Tested, and they're a team of independent multidisciplinary experts appointed by the client. They audit and certify buildings to ensure that they are constructed in line with the building regulations. They complete on-site inspection, defect management, working directly with the site team in the field throughout the project life cycle. It's end-to-end project delivery platform, Cert Central, and it's cloud-based CDE, which also has a mobile application. It also follows BIM, the UK BIM framework and procedures. So once the DA have been appointed on site, pre-commencement statutory documentation that demonstrates compliance with the requirements of the second schedule of the building regulations and to which the design cert relates are collected from the design team. So that's your civil and structural engineers, your architects, your access consultant, your fire consultant, and your M&E consultant. So all this commencement information needs to be uploaded onto the BCMS system. So that includes drawings, registers, details, reports, surveys, and specifications, along with your initial commencement design cert. So this is the same for all disciplines on the team. They get together they collect together their drawings and for grant applications, and also in line with fire and access. The assigned certifier with this documentation then will also file the following commencement notice documentation, notice of signed documentation, including preliminary inspection plan, scheduled, and all the statutory documentation associated with that. So the inspection plan. So we're to assist with the inspection plan on site and raising issues in the field by detecting
You okay, Alice?
Hi, Bríd, is everything okay? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes?
Sorry there, the screen just stalled on me here.
That's okay. You're doing
Sorry
great.
about that. I think it's working again now. So in relation to the inspection plan in the field, working with the Cert Central system and the software and digital software that they have is a real advantage in the field. So the inspection plan is digitized, and to carry out a rigorous and detailed inspection plan as per spec, design intent and approved technical submittal, we're checking that everything is installed as per benchmark. Inspection plan by subcontractors, designer and I3PT can take place on the smart application on your phone. So this is especially important for inspection report and defect management. So the digital inspections, they're made easy because it's via your app on your phone. You just launch the app, you choose your drawing location, you drop a pin on your design drawings, and you can capture work in progress for quality inspections. You can also raise issues and queries. So all site issues and queries can be raised capturing locations, descriptions and photographic evidence. You simply drop your pin, take a photo of the remedial action, and then you close out that similarly by outlining remedial action taken by a simple photo. The notification goes to the person that has raised the issue, and then that issue is ready for closeout. So this is very useful for us on site, because a lot of the subcontractors find it very useful because they can go around and complete their inspection plan in the palm of their hand, basically. So it's all live in the field. If I'm out carrying it, if someone's out on site carrying out an inspection, one of the designers, one of the team members of I3PT, they get an instant notification of where the issue is, and they're able to, straight away on their phone, they're able to go and have a look at the issue and then immediately close it out there on their phone. So this is a very attractive part of this system, so that it means that you don't be running in and out of the office looking at reports or anything like that. It's all in the palm of the hand. And then for the management of this, for closing out issues, so both the management platform and the application run seamlessly together via Cert Central field application. So basically logging and assigning snags and defects captured during site inspections. All issues are tracked, assigned, closed out with photo evidence and reviewed by multiple parties throughout the project lifecycle. There's also, for the management side of things, on the CDE, for reporting and registers, at a click you just download, and you're able to download an issue log there in Excel form, filter that, and then also send that out if you need it for reporting purposes. On the CDE, there's a traffic light system. This ensures that the status of all issues are clearly communicated. So when you log into the system, whether you're a designer, whether you're a subcontractor, you can see this issue has been uploaded. It's either awaiting design team review or that it's been submitted and accepted by the design team for closeout evidence. So it's basically all in one place, keeping everything together, and you're able to track, report, and also have your digital inspection plan with you at all times, whether you're on site or you can also do it on the computer. So active issue reports in PDF can also be exported out from this function by the contractor's team, facilitating smooth and efficient snagging and defect management. So what I do personally in the field is I export out this PDF and I actually WhatsApp it to the site teams on site, so that, you know, when I'm sending a reminder saying, you know, we need to promote closeout on these now efficiently, they can actually receive that through WhatsApp, so they don't have to be sitting at a computer, which a lot of operatives on site will not be. So the inspection plan management. So the inspection plan timeline displays a detailed inspection and test plan for the entire project team. The timeline is structured to mirror the program of works. And once a contractor mobilizes, we hold workshops and their inspection plan goes live. So we hold a workshop, find out exactly what their scope of work is and when they'll be starting those works. Then their inspection plan goes live and they're able to complete those inspections as discussed already by using their app. We're able to manage them by tracking the whole entire project from the laptop. So we'll be able to see who has submitted a report, what's outstanding, and track and report out on that progress also. So in this function for us managing this, at a click you can download your full inspection plan as implemented, or you can have a full 4-week look ahead to see what inspections are coming up in the meantime. Again, you can download all this information in Excel. Also, the platform allows us to filter and search, so you can do a filter by design or construction team or indeed work package. The users can also view any report. There's a thumbnail there, so you can preview and review your report easily from the laptop. So just a quick talk on the construction documentation. During the construction phase that we will be working with the subcontractors, specialist suppliers and manufacturers and design manufacturer suppliers to collect BCAR documentation. So some samples of that BCAR documentation would be quality documentation, accreditation, certificates, evidence of trained and qualified operatives, project experience and competence, manufacturer supplier confirmation of compliance, drawing registers at commencement. Again, as I discussed earlier on, your technical submittals, your various certificates, CE mark certificates, material approvals, your PI insurances, performance tests, and then our design safety FM forms as well for the design and installation. And also obviously our inspection and test plan, our benchmarks submitted and closed out, our on-site testing, and also at commencement of the construction we'll be collecting our SD form. So this is reviewed on the Cert Central system by the full design team, and then final approval sits with our assigned certifier. Critical documentation. So where do we put all this information? This is all done on Central CDE on critical docs, where all our BCAR can be held in, or BCAR documentation can be held in one place. So just giving you a preview here of it. Again, filterable and searchable. But the main key thing for this is that it's everything all in one place for us. I can report out on this, I can track, and then also that it goes through the level of design team approval as well. Again, you can report out by clicking and exporting in Excel, and this is very handy process for reporting out both to the design teams and to the site team on site. So completion documentation for the site team. What kind of completion documentation do we collect and how is it reviewed? So I will be working with subcontractors, the specialist suppliers and design manufacturer suppliers on the completion of the project to ensure that we have the testing and commissioning results and certification, warranties, design drawings and final register on completion, along with our O&M documentation, our completed inspection plan, and ensuring that we had closed out and uploaded against all issues and queries that came from the field. Along with that, on completion, we will be also uploading our ancillary certs on completion. So for our subcontractors and manufacturers, we'll be getting our CIFO1, which is our ancillary certificate of completion, or the CIFO2 if it was a subcontractor. And then also if design was present we would be completing, if there was design responsibility, we would be collecting our ancillary certs for the contractors, specialist designers, which it would be our SI and our SC. All this on the Critical Docs platform is uploaded, reviewed and approved by the design team, and then a final design inspection on completion to enable confirmation of compliance at completion. And again, then the final tier going through the assigned certifier. So our completion documentation then by the design team, so documents that demonstrate compliance with the requirements with the second schedule of the building regulations and to which the design certificate relates. So I will be managing, collaborating and coordinating the BCAR with the site team and the design team and the I3PT to ensure that these documents are uploaded on time and coordinated correctly. So what kind of documents do we collect from our design team on completion? So we will be collecting civil and structural documentation, our final issue drawings, our register, our detailed list of deferred works, if there are any, or omitted compliance, any design changes that happen throughout the project, our completed inspection plan by our designers, along with our certificate of compliance at completion for inspection and completion. So we will be collecting these documents for for civil and structural, our architectural, our access consultant, access ensuring Part M compliance, our fire consultant ensuring Part B compliance, our M&E consultants, and then all these forms go on to Cert Central to be approved by the assigned certifier, a Part A and a Part B certificate of compliance on completion, by the builder and also the assigned certifier that certifies that the building or works as completed have been constructed in accordance with all the documentation relevant to compliance with the building regulations. This is reliant on the documents and certs verifying that the works are in compliance with the requirements of the building regulations. So all this information on completion is submitted on the Cert Central platform in Critical Docs, approved by the assigned certifier, collected all in one place, uploaded onto the BCMS so that we can get certified of compliance at completion. So that concludes my presentation for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It's in relation to creating customer value with total quality management, lean methodologies and continuous improvement to get it right first time, every time. So thank you very much.
You're bang on time, Alice. Thank you very much for that. I'm blown away by the amount of documents that are gathered. You should have shown a photograph to the young people on board of the old cardboard boxes that we used to have lying around, probably still there for safety files and things, just so that maybe people could appreciate the amount of documentation that's coming at you.
Yeah, well, there's that too, Finola, and then there's also, I suppose, all the activities have to take place on site before we even get to the documentation, you know, so it's a massive process, so it's kind of been hard to compact into 20 minutes, but we managed it anyway.
Well, we have a question in from Andrew, if you wouldn't mind answering it now, Alice.
No problem.
Andrew's asking that during a project, do you run a general construction management platform in parallel with Cert Central? And he made an example of Procore or some other program.
So we, in BAM, what we would have is we work with BIM 360 for projects. We have all our own internal quality management systems, as well as the software that we use. However, on I3PT certified projects, it's the client that appoints I3PT. So we also are in contract to comply with these systems, their systems, the Cert Central system, as well as our own. So there's I'm sure everybody can relate to this. There are usually multiple CDEs on projects, so you can be jumping in and out of different places. But for the purposes of BCAR, it's a fantastic tool to keep it all in one place. So supposed to answer the question there, for BCAR and compliance, this will be the central system that we would use. with Cert Central, you can also upload all your own. It doesn't matter what software you're actually using, you can upload your report in that. So they're not saying everybody needs to use this system. So if I go out and use like with BAM, I use BIM Field and BIM 360 to do my checklists in the field when I'm out inspecting. And then as we know, you just PDF those. And then you just upload them onto the Cert Central system, recorded just as easy as you would with completing an I3PT report.
Oh, and oh, that's great. Andrew has just thanked you for that. I have a few more questions here that I might leave, if you don't mind, Alice, for after Bríd talks. And again, feel free to include any questions for the speakers in the chat room. So I'll let you have a break there, Alice, and we'll come back to you. Well done. Bríd, if you're there, you might like to start sharing your screen, Bríd. Thank you, Bríd. And welcome. I'm just going to give a small introduction there again to Bríd. She's from Kavanagh Construction in Limerick. She's over 23 years of experience in construction. She's a qualified quantity surveyor with knowledge in cost planning, commercial management from the entire life cycle of a project from inception to post-completion. She's experienced in a number of markets, including the residential, pharmaceutical, healthcare, civic, education and leisure. She's recently moved roles and is currently the Kavanagh Construction CDE, Common Data Environment, Administrative Manager. And she's responsible for the overall user experience, training, troubleshooting, and liaising between project stakeholders. And I have a little quote here from Bríd I think I'll share. She says of her new role that she's a people-centered role which focuses on design, training and implementation of this collaborative platform at project level in order to ensure a dynamic and proactive approach to digitization of all company workflows. Bríd, if you want, I'll pass you over there now. Thank you.
Now, can you hear me okay there?
That's perfect, Bríd, yes.
Great stuff, okay. So thank you very much for the introduction, and today I'm hoping to just have a brief look at our common data environment, the implementation of our project management tool for better collaboration within the business. So our agenda today, I'm just going to give a brief overview of Kavanagh Construction, just to give you a feel for who we are as a company. I'm going to look at the importance of the full buy-in by all disciplines to the platform that we're using. I'm going to look at the questions that we no longer have to ask ourselves since implementation of this platform. I'm going to look at the actual implementation, the case studies and a list of job tools that we implement on a daily basis. Then we're going to have a brief look at digitalization of our workflows, our collaboration strategy, and then I hope to close with just a brief conversation about the future, our industry change, and I suppose our growth mindset, and how we feel that we now need to look at these digital platforms as a way of, I suppose, future-proofing our businesses. So Kavanagh Construction. So who is Kavanagh? So Kavanagh was established in 2008, and we're a leading progressive building and civil engineering contractor. We do have a collaborative and a growth mindset, and I think that's very much from the top tier down within the company. We have several different projects, project sectors such as commercial, healthcare, industrial and educational. So as you can see, we do have a diverse portfolio of work, which is fantastic. We are committed to delivering a quality product and we're fully ISO compliant. We conform to Bríd and LIN standards where applicable. And we're also on the path for BIM ISO 19650 certification. Here's just a small sample of some of the clients that we would use on a regular basis, or we would interact with. We're also in the lucky position that we do actually do repeat projects with the same clients, and I would go so far as to say that I think that the installation of our common data environment project management platform is actually only going to benefit that situation, because what we're finding is when our design team members and clients are starting to use this platform, that over time they actually like to see projects being run on a digital platform. Here's just some of our certifications for our ISO, and we do have an in-house team led by Paula Shinners, which keeps us up to speed and up to date with all things ISO. So let's just have a look at maybe our aims and our goals and our strategic approach to the implementation of Procore within our business. So our company's aim was to create an environment of collaboration while implementing the full adaptation of our CDE platform. We always knew to create this, we were going to have to facilitate the right kind of supports so that we could have the full buy-in to the platform by all end users. That's both internally and externally, so our own staff and the different design team members and clients that we will be dealing with. We also wanted to take advantage of the possibility of notably improving the flow of information timelines on our projects, which means that ultimately that's going to improve our project programs. And just with my QS hat on for a moment, that then is going to have the knock-on effect of ultimately improving our project margins. I think we can all agree that it's important that our projects are delivered in a timely fashion within program. And certainly digitalization of your workflows, I think, definitely does facilitate and improve that. We also took the approach of creating a CDE administrative manager's role, which is the role that I'm currently in at the moment, which I'm very much enjoying. And the idea there was to implement a strategy for further development, just to give us, I suppose, a broad outlook on how we were going to deal with our implementation of the platform in business. We also came to the decision that we wanted to have all our projects on Procore from July of 2020, which I can now say we have successfully done. I would say 95%. There's the 5% that's not on the platform, and that's because they're probably historic jobs that are on board quite a while, and they're too far into their program at this stage to be trying to implement them onto Procore. But outside of those, we're very much on the platform in general. So just maybe just a few pros with the platform if you were just to initially think about it. So the first one is, I suppose, that it brings all your information into one place. It does consolidate your information into one area. We are lucky enough to find the platform very easy to use. And we've had excellent customer support online from Procore, which has been very beneficial. And then just down to the very simple things like having your current set of drawings at hand at all times. And just things like your daily logs and your label records are always at hand and up to date. So here's just some of the questions that we feel we no longer have to ask ourselves. So what is happening on site? What did my site manager just authorize? Why does your team produce so much paper? How do I know if my team is working off the latest set of drawings and specs? And why do I always end up trying to collect information at the worst time at the end of a project? So just to fly down through these and to answer those questions for ourselves. What is happening on site? Well, if you want to know what's happening on any one of our jobs at the moment, you would either take out your mobile app, or you would go onto your device or your laptop and you would click into your platform. And I suppose in a very short space of time, you can get a real feel for where the project's at. You can look at what's been approved from a submittal point of view, from an RFI point of view. You can go into our photos tool and actually see the build in real time where it's at. What did my site manager just authorize? Again, same thing. If you're out on site and you're deciding, you're putting in pipes, whatever you're doing, and you're trying to think what's been approved, what's the data sheet for this item? You can go into submittals and you can very quickly get down and fine tune to even just a data sheet for a particular item. So you can see what's been approved by your site manager there and then. Why does your team produce so much paper? Well, I think that's an obvious one. Clearly, we're obviously not producing half as much paper as we would be in the old-fashioned route. So that's a clear benefit of the platform. How do I know if my team is working off the latest set of drawings? So again, what we're doing there to ensure that that's the case is that all our drawings are uploaded from one source, which is our design team members. And I have to say they've been wonderful. They've really come on board with us. And I think that's because we are creating the right environment, the collaborative environment where we're providing the support and the training initially for them. And they have and are uploading directly for us. And then we have the task of publishing those drawings and that information as it comes into us. And we assign somebody on the relevant site to look after this on a daily basis. and that ensures that we're obviously working off the correct and current information at all times. Why do I always end up trying to collect information at the worst time at the end of a project? Well, that's back to the BCAR and O&M manual side of things. Again, we have a document section within our CDE platform that allows us to compile all of this information on an ongoing basis as we're working. So we're compiling information in one central location and we're doing it on a daily basis again. So by the time you get to the end of your project and you have to produce your O&M manual, and your BCAR information, it's there, it's already in hand, and it can be released to the design team in a click of a button for approval. So as you can imagine, that's very beneficial. So then I'm just going to take you now through the tools that you would expect to see in the platform of Procore. Here's some jobs that we're currently operating on Procore. You might be familiar with our Cherrywood job in Dublin, which is the top picture there. And again, just to list the tools, and again, they're very practical. It's pretty obvious, I suppose, if you're usually working in a construction industry, then you're going to be dealing with all these different elements within any job. So it's your drawings, your specifications, your submittals, your photos, your RFIs, all the way down there, the list, to your site diary and your BIM model tools. And the beauty of the tool approach, I suppose, is that it's breaking down the areas of work, and then we are, I suppose, managing each one of those tools individually on a daily basis to ensure that we're hitting all the different spots. So it breaks down your workflows basically, and we've also created our own additional tool with the help of Procore. So we have a digital library now which compiles all our ISO forms and our ITP forms in one central location, which again is just very handy for all our end users and particularly our on-site personnel. So our implementation approach, well, we've taken a tool-by-tool implementation approach to Procore. So as you can see from the previous slide, there's a list of tools there. So we've literally taken each one, we've looked at it, we've come up with a strategy on the level of information that we want to see for each tool, and maybe the level of upload that we want to see for each tool. And then we've implemented that through the company as part of our training modules. And then just straight down onto training. So we have taken the training pretty seriously, and we've put a bit of work into that. I think it's important if you're going to bring a CDE platform, whether it's Procore or any other CDE platform, into your business, you need to provide training for people. Then we're on to troubleshooting. So again, just to go one further from that, training people is obviously beneficial and fantastic and all of that. But I know myself, when I'm trained on something, I take in X amount of the information, and it's not until I begin to use a system that I find I have issues that I need resolving. And that's, I think, again, where my role has come in, and it's working really well for us, is that when people have an issue after being trained and when they're implementing the platform, they can come directly to myself, and with the help of Procore and their online team, we will resolve it. I probably know a lot of it at this stage off the top of my head, but then there's always the more intricate issues, and I have a great support system in Procore to resolve those as we go along. And then we've looked at further development because it's a stepping stone for us, I suppose, this platform, to the digitalization of the company. And then we are running monthly audits for our job site usage. And again, I feel this is very important because by human nature, I suppose, you give people an outline when you train them on what you expect from them, and they take that on board. But I suppose you need to maintain the level of usage of your platform on an ongoing basis, and we have a structure in place for that with our audit system. And again, that's working quite well for us. It's done on a monthly basis, and yeah, it's very beneficial to keep things streamlined. So our approach really has been a person-centered approach, I think is the best way to describe it. And I would also say that that is a very Kavanagh approach. And we've done this, I suppose, by providing training modules for all our in-house staff, that's our own staff, and our external stakeholders alike. And this certainly, I feel, has definitely improved the buy-in of all our stakeholders to the platform. And it does also create a nice collaborative, dynamic feel to the project in the early stages, because you're interacting with people, you're providing them with training, you're providing them with support, and yeah, you're starting as you mean to go on with the right the right attitude. So just to take you now to, say, the digitalization of workflows. So digitalization of workflows is ultimately what anybody wants to achieve from implementing a CDE platform into their business. And here is the project overview, and it's displayed on the homepage of every one of our projects, and it outlines the main sections that all parties need to review to ascertain how the job is being managed. So as you can see here on the left, we have a list of icons, RFIs, submittals, programs, and this shows just some bars of where things are and what needs to be actioned next. These colours, these bars, they move repeatedly from day to day as things are resolved and things are added and removed from the platform. So in essence, it's an action plan created within the platform for you. And again, just an action plan that then ultimately, I suppose, streamlines your processes. You're inviting people into a digital arena and you're asking them to come on board, take a look at what needs to be actioned next, and that then does lead to kind of a focused approach to people's workflows. And now, I suppose just to say as well that initially, maybe when you ask your design team members to come on board with a platform like this that we're actually as a contractor providing, you know, they might feel, is this going to become a rod for my back? Am I going to have 50 emails a day from a platform asking me to do this, this and this? And as we've implemented and as we've become, you know, I suppose, more in tune with our design team members and their feedback on the platform, what I'm certainly getting is that it's beneficial to everybody, and our design teams alike like the platform because it literally does streamline your focus your workflow. Because, and actually under the icon that you see on this slide here, there is an individual section then that lists the items that you, the user, when you're looking at the platform and when you've logged in as yourself, need to look at. So, I mean, we're all working on, I suppose, complex projects, and they're getting more and more complex. So any tool that that we can collectively use that helps to fine tune and focus our approaches to our workflows, I think is just, it's going to be, you know, well received by everybody. So then just maybe to touch on the strategic approach that we've used. These are just a few comments that I'd like to make. First of all, just to choose the right platform and to suit your business needs. Procore is the CDE platform of choice that Kavanagh has chosen, and the reason is that it suits our business requirements to a T, and we're very content with our selection. But I would say that there are several different types of CDE platforms out there. They do vary, and I do also know that some of them are more suited to a design perspective. So it depends on where you're coming from, and in that respect, I suppose each individual business will need to do their homework and decide, you know, if you are going to implement a CDE platform, what kind of platform that you need. Then I would also maybe say that you need to implement your platform correctly and have a strategic approach. You can bring a platform into your business and you can just, I suppose, just let it in and let it off. The trouble with that is that it generally stagnates. It doesn't take off, and more importantly, it doesn't take off in the way in which you want it to. And you don't have a streamline between the different projects. They're all operating on their own devices, pretty much. So I think just from the purpose of streamlining your business, it makes sense to have a strategic approach to the implementation of your CDE platform. And then I suppose assign someone suitable to it. I have a construction background, so when it comes to even assigning permissions for people to the platform and usage and where it should be taking us and what it should be doing and the level of usage and things like that, I innately know what's required there. So I think that's a little benefit maybe. And then just, I would say, to give the resources and the time to ensure the maximization of your CDE platform. I think that's an obvious one. It's like everything. You're spending money to bring a platform into your business and you want to get the maximum out of it. And again, like everything, you know, what you put in, you get out. So for us in Kavanagh, I suppose we've just taken our Procore platform as a stepping stone to further development and digitalization of our company. This is the starting point for us. We're going to, I suppose, look at it, perfect it, make sure it's implemented, monitor it, and then it'll lead us invariably on to the next step. So my CDE manager's role is going to be an ongoing improvement in digitalization of the company in the broad sense. That's the way we're looking at it. So for example, we do have a Hilti on-track system currently in the business, which we use to track all our plant on our various sites. You might be familiar with it. And we're currently now working with Hilti on-track and Procore to integrate the two systems. And that's just the current area that I'm getting involved with in terms of further development. So that's quite exciting. And then just to touch on maybe the basics. So the basics, do upload as much information as possible to your CDE platform of choice. Your platform is literally only going to be as good as the level of information that you put up on it. So take each tool, make a decision about what you want, what you expect to see there, and then ensure that it's being uploaded in a timely fashion on a weekly or monthly basis. Don't accept information via other emails or Dropbox platforms. Again, maybe this sounds a little onerous, but what we have found is that if you create the right environment and if you train and provide training for your design team members, they will come on board with you. They have for us, and they've been wonderful. And we've literally tried to start as we mean to continue. So before the job starts on site, we make that initial contact and we get familiar with everybody, and that's working really well for us. Do upload daily, weekly, and assign responsibility for tasks and inform your company of what's expected of them. So that's an obvious one, you know, set your timelines, decide, like I say, what you expect from people, and then monitor it. And then again, audit your usage. So where can the digital platform take us beyond what I've just discussed there? Sorry. So I suppose from a future perspective, what we're currently looking at the moment is our BIM coordination and model tools within the platform. And I'm working with this at the moment with our BIM manager, Antonio Ilani, who you might be familiar with. And we're just rolling this out now. It's going to allow us to connect our staff members and our site members out on site via their apps into the model in real time, and even, you know, create RFIs, create whatever from their apps in the model. And that's really going to link our BIM to the dynamics of what's happening out on each site, if you like. So that's currently been rolled out at the company at the moment, and we're looking forward to see how that moves on. So I'm just going to close out, I suppose, just by mentioning that the growth mindset and the digital future. So Connick's rule of thumb here, I think, is that if we're not growing and developing, we're invariably becoming obsolete. And I think we can probably all agree that in 2020, with COVID-19 and how it's pushed us all into Zoom meetings like this today, and how we can actually manage things digitally and remotely so well now in comparison to maybe even roll back 12 months ago, if we all, you know, the fear factor of trying to operate like this was probably huge, and now we're all comfortably doing it. So I would say in the same vein that this idea that, you know, construction is always the same and that we can only do things in a certain way, it's not true. I think construction by nature is a very diverse industry. It's partially, I know, why I got into it, and I think it's why a lot of people like the industry. It's always growing, it's always diversifying, and it's always changing. And I do believe that, I suppose, our CDE common data environment platforms are part of that future. We will invariably be all asked to move into that arena. I know as a company that Connick are very happy with the timing of introducing Procore into our business. It's working really well for us. And it couldn't have happened at a better time, especially now with COVID-19 and everything. You know, whether you're working at home or wherever you are at the moment, your accessibility to all the information that you need is the click of a button, which is, I suppose, where we're all heading. So I'm going to close there, and I just want to thank CitA for the opportunity of speaking today, and I hope it was beneficial and helpful for anyone who's considering going down the CDE implementation route. So thanks very much, guys. I'll hand you back there, Finola.
Thank you very much, Bríd. I'm speechless. I'm blown away. It's exciting to hear how Irish construction, we're kind of nearly left in the shadows of the UK somewhat. I'm delighted that we've had so much female representation of construction. Why we wouldn't, obviously. The presentations have just been mind-blowing, and I know I have a few students looking in, and I hope they get that what they're doing here in AIT and the other institutes is practical theory to get them job ready going out.
But I would definitely say to all the girls listening, or to anyone listening, any students listening, that there is great careers in construction, whether you're male or female,
yeah.
And all your ideas, all your Xbox playing and everything that you're doing from future thinking. I mean, if you look at the previous speakers and what they're touching on, the new generation are going to just love it, you know, and they're going to be well able for it. And yeah, you know, it's going to be good.
Bríd, quite a few questions coming in there. I do know that you answered probably one of Andrew's on the Procore. So I don't know if you can see the chat room there.
I actually can't, and I'm afraid to press any buttons in case I magically delete myself.
Andrew, as I said, he had mentioned the Procore at Alice's talk, but he's asking, would you be able to speak a little as to how the platform can be utilised for tracking that approved materials have been delivered and are being used by the teams on site?
Certainly. Sorry, my lights are heading off now and everything. Just going to give a wave here. Anyway, you can still see me. So I'll answer your question, no problem, Andrew. So what I would say that in Procore, we have a number of tools that I discussed. And one of the tool sections that we have is a document section. So within that document section, then we have a number of folders. Some of those are locked and some are unlocked depending on the user. And what we generally do is we compile all our information, our BCAR information and our own manual information in a central location there on one of our tools in the document section. And then when the time is right, we give access to our design team members. And like Alex said, regardless of what structure we're putting our BCAR on, what way we're listing it, we can PDF that and we can upload it onto our platform. So, whether you're just doing your own straightforward Excel version of a BCAR, compilation, or whether you're using a more extravagant tool to pull that information together, you can then upload it onto Procore and make it accessible to everybody. So yeah, it works quite well for that.
Great. Thank you. And I have another one. Is there any significant difference between Procore and BIM 360, Bríd? Or even Alice, maybe, but I'll say to Bríd, yeah, if you know.
Well, I have no experience of BIM 360, so Alice would probably be the best one for that. But I will say that I know that I've come to the conclusion, whether I'm right or wrong, somebody can correct me on this, is that most of these CDE platforms do the same thing, and again, it's back to what you want from the platform. So I would say that, there might be a slight more design emphasis on BIM 360, I think. So if you were an architect, that's probably the CDE platform that you might lean towards. But equally so, we're finding that all our design team members, when they come on board with Procore, they do like the platform and they do like the usage of it. It works quite well for them. So.
Fantastic. Alice, would you have any comments on that, perhaps?
Hi, yeah, Bríd explained that perfectly. Yeah, that's how I would explain it too as well. And I suppose it's preference and what the teams like to work with. And it's also dependent as well too on the project that you're working on and the software available to you that's been defined for you in advance of starting on that project. So I suppose the main thing with these CDEs is that regardless of the CDE, they've similar functions and they've similar abilities, but it's how they interact both when you're on the field and also sitting behind the desk. Wherever you are, you need to be able to access that information, comment on it, review it, track it, and close it out efficiently.
And the clients that are demanding this, Alice, I know you've done some quite large projects with BAM in Galway and Dublin. Is it public or private sector that's demanding this and the I3PT certs? And
both. Both would be Finola. And look, the BCAR is such a huge part of our process. Like, it's everything. People talk about project completions all the time, and sure, without your CCC or certificate of compliance and completion, there is no project completion. That's where projects will start costing you money, and you'll have to go back the way. So the ethos really is get it right first time, early intervention, keep up your inspections in the field, and really progressively close out all those documentations from initiation on a project right the way through to completion, and make that completion easy for everybody.
And I say to my students, on a building site now, you'll find a lad with a shovel and an iPad. So I'd say it's exciting for people coming into the trades end of things as well to see this digital transformation. Would that be correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I suppose what makes, I suppose, working with Cert Central system for BCAR so attractive as well to our subcontractors for buy-in and that kind of thing is, well, everybody has a smartphone. You don't need an iPad. You don't need a tablet. You don't need any of that kind of thing. You have your phone there for WhatsApp. And as I say to the contractors when we're going through it at the beginning of the project is, if you can send a WhatsApp, you'll be able to do an inspection plan.
I think we've the A team here between Dan and yourselves, between our augmented reality and everything. We don't need to leave our offices at this rate, And Alice, I just wanted to mention, for those who might know, you were a past student of AIT, someone we've been actually very proud of. I remember you walking in our doors, being a BIM virgin, let's call you that in a way. And you're a typical, well, you're not a typical student now because you did get a 1-1, but it just goes to show how important the springboard that you come on, first of all, which is for people working. And then you progressed on to our BSc in construction management, and which will delve into our digital construction as well. Well, not a success for you, would have been a success, but I hope maybe you might just talk about how it has changed your career progression.
Oh, absolutely. Well, having come back from Australia, having worked in the construction industry over there on large scale projects, it was obviously when I came back, construction wasn't thriving in Ireland. It was very difficult to procure a position. That would be also a position that you would like to procure, yourself. So I researched AIT and the construction management course that was available there that had so much involved in it, that covered so much from our project management to our BIM down to our using the systems like Costex. And for me, come as a returning from a foreign country, a different country of working, for work practices, for regulations, the construction management course in AIT covered absolutely all of that, both practically and also in the theory and all of that as well too for me. So it was a fantastic choice. I found it fantastic to go through the process, and to be fair, in no matter what role you take up in the field, like all of the project scheduling, your project management, your contracts management, all of that is intrinsic to all roles that you have in construction. And the more experience you have with it, the easier understanding where you fit in that process in the field is as well, and I have to say that when we were doing those practical, working practically with the software, the BIM classes, the BIM management, all of that, it just means when you do start in the field that you hit the ground running.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, Alice, I think the teacher has become the student after today's presentation.
Oh, thanks, Finola.
And you've received some great comments. I saw that Archie there from R3PT is on board, and he complimented you on your presentation, and not the only one. I'm so delighted with everybody who gave their time to come here today and to present. Some others again saying, oh, there's Eva, thanks to everybody. And it is being recorded. It will be put up on the CitA platform. I see Alan is there from CitA. How are you, Alan? If you'd like to say something, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, just to say, as a proud Athlone man myself, I lived on Station Road in Moat for a number of years. My father was in the bank in Moat.
Fantastic.
We moved around a lot, but can I just say what a fantastic event it was? And as you say, the gender balance was fantastic this morning. I did miss the first presentation by Dan, sorry about that, but I thought Alice and Bríd did brilliantly. This regional week this week has been fantastic. Well done to the CitA guys.
Yeah.
I know you did a wonderful job. I hope all is well with you and the family and everybody else at this time.
Fantastic. Yeah.
I've had 5 meetings online this morning, going to another one now. So just want to wish everyone our very best, and stay safe, and let's stay connected. Let's keep this regional thing going into next year. I know the government are looking at funding some, let's just call it a centre of excellence. Wouldn't it be great if this was for the whole country, for all the regions working together? So that's our plan, that's our mission, and just want to wish everyone the very best.
Thank you very much, Alan, and as well.
Thanks for all your hard work. You know, thank you for the presentation. Excellent, Finola. You know, and the meeting has been recorded, and the presentation will be online soon. Okay, please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's Construction IT Alliance, so you'll be notified when the event will be. The recording will be online. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
You did a great job.
Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye now.